the streets of the Houston art scene. I'm known as Laura the Crimson Vagabond. I am a performance artist and I am a belly dancer. I'm an MC and I'm also an event producer. As a belly dancer, I specialize in dancing to live music and I'm also an instructor. As an MC, I host special occasions, I host fairs, I host festivals, and as a matter of fact, as an event producer, I'm preparing to host my 13th annual Crimson Vagabond Roadshow. It's fiscally sponsored by Fresh Arts, which I'm very excited about. And it's a music and dance festival that specializes in performance art. We have open audition applications and also educational opportunities to dance with other top performers here in Houston as well as Texas as well.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. Awesome, congratulations. 13 years consistently doing something that's really great. My biggest takeaway was something that they touched on earlier, to just ask. You have to know what you want, and no one's going to know what you want if you never open your mouth and say anything. So there's a lot of power in just asking and kind of putting that idea out into the world. And you'll be shocked at who responds back positively to that. And the second thing is investing in yourself. Going to Artist League for 8 weeks, 3 hours at a time, doing all of the assignments was a major investment in my art practice, and it was really beneficial because I'm seeing the benefits from that and all of the effects like a year now that I've completed the program. And so I think it's incredibly important to invest in yourself and spend that time.
Can you tell them a little bit about your practice?
Sure. So I'm Whitney Spruceton. I'm a DJ, a multidisciplinary artist, and also an event producer. I produce all kinds of events around the city of Houston. I DJ. I also am a photographer and I have my own sort of printmaking process with cyanotypes. And my events are often backed by grant funding, so I do a lot of grant writing as well in my artistic practice. But I would say I'm very multidisciplinary, community focused.
That's Sarah?
Hi guys, my name is Katsuri Barron. I'm a muralist, artist, and gallery owner most recently. And my work, if I can paint a picture of it, is just as Whitney was saying, my work is also dedicated to the community. And so because of that, and then one of the biggest takeaway from the program was that
question and kind of go inward, like with the psychology of where you all were with your art practice before the program. And I think that would be really interesting at a humanistic level, because it's a template that seems to work, but the community is really the important part of this flywheel, so to speak. But I'm interested in you individually as, like, where were you psychologically, like, with your practice?
Just for myself, and a lot of other artists will relate that I became a lot more confident because artistry offered me the opportunity, resources, tools to clarify what my message is as an artist, what I wanted to deliver, and I was a little bit timid. They were talking about earlier, we kind of want to be humble as artists. We don't necessarily want to write about ourselves or be too forward with looking for opportunities. But Artist Inc., meeting a bunch of other artists who are also very passionate about what they do, but they want to build themselves as entrepreneurs, we all collectively came together and found strength in the community, which gave you confidence individually. So once I left the program, I was able to apply for other grants, other residencies. For my roadshow that I'm having this year, I'm completely changing the format after 13 years. And I didn't have the confidence to do that before. But now because I have the clarity of the message that I want to deliver and the benefits that I think that it will offer to the community, I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready for it to grow.
So 2022, that's when I was part of Art City. I had been a full-time artist for only 2 years, but I started during the pandemic, which was honestly, I couldn't say experience, but it really trained me to, like we were explaining earlier on the workshop, how do I create a kingdom out of art and how do I diversify, the way I make money. So, but still, I feel like it was only my second year as a full-time artist. Still kind of like living check.
Check classes.
Check.
Se me le fue la palabra. And so I feel like going through the program, one of the most important things for me, like I said, it was the art ecosystem, because it sparked new collaborations in my career that helped me, I guess, bring a way to show my art and elevate it through the collaborations. And it also opened my eyes to, like, for example, brands. I won a brand like a year and a half ago.
And that was
And
your
I-
first application.
Yeah, and I actually collaborated with someone on Artistry. So from the program, I think people take away whatever it is that you're looking for, and you will also get some surprises because culture is shaped not only through paint, it's music, it's all of these I guess mediums of the art community. So yeah, it gave me mentors. Chris was my mentor, and we're still really good friends. He still mentors me from time to time. So I'm not afraid to ask him when I need help. I'm pretty humble, but I know I'm always looking forward to growth. And every time you grow, you're gonna suck at something. You're gonna be bad at something. But if you have someone to kind of model or to give you advice, then it will become easier and you're not gonna quit as fast.
Touch on that
But
real
now,
quick. We've been out of the program for how long? What years you left the program?
2022.
2022. So to this day, I'm still making crazy things. Like to this day, I literally go to the gallery and I go, we do this, stuff
this point in time, and then maybe other tools would apply 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. But almost everybody that takes the program gets something out of it. I don't think I've ever, I mean, unless they just quit early, you know. So, is there any more questions out there? Yes. Go ahead, let's try again.
So what is the ideal stage that a candidate would be in her career to get the most out of like this?
I can take that one. We ask that you are not currently in college, and part of the thought process there is in college you're really developing the art itself. It doesn't matter where you are in your practice. You can be just starting out and figuring things out. You can be a mid-career artist. You can be a well-established artist that's just trying to tweak something. The thing that we find that is really helpful is that you have a body of work that you're responding to and working off of. So you will find in any given cohort folks that are just starting out and folks that are collected in museums or in have really reached different pinnacles in their career and are just looking for something really specific. And
Where they might be branching out, like, you know, they're starting a new endeavor.
yeah, the big thing is that you have questions and you're coming to it with specific things that you're looking to tweak about what you do. I think Chris brought up the idea earlier of self-determined success a little bit, and we talked about that a lot throughout the program. The idea that like what you're doing will not be the same as the person next to you, and that's not just fine, that's great. The idea that we are just creating a container so that you can really explore what works for you and support each other in doing that. So if you're making work, you're good to go.
You had a question?
Yeah. If you're open to being transparent about it, like what are the different bundles that are feeding into your barrel right now? And also like after the program, was it easier to like manage all of those different funds?
I think you're going to be surprised by how many more funnels you're going to create after arts meeting. So for myself as a musician and a dancer, I was already performing and I was already teaching. Once I became a part of Artist Week, and it's really validating. You're, especially if you've been a working artist already, they're going to be talking about things you've already been doing. And that's going to feel great. And you're going to get new ideas. You're going to talk to other artists who might be on a different path, but you've had similar experiences. That's really validating. And then, you need to work on your resume, which sounds incredibly daunting, but it's really a great way to get a clear picture of all the things that you've accomplished, and what a great ego boost for anybody in that one. So after I finished Artist Week, then I was able to explore more opportunities for becoming an MC in other genres outside of music and dance. So I even officiated a wedding that I had never done before, but I explored being a part of other fresh arts projects, other artist eating projects. I became a professional fire dancer and started doing things that way. So I really expanded as a dancer, as a musician, as a event producer, and as an MC, where those ideas were very general in my mind, and I really got to funnel what my specialty was in each one.
Real quick, let me ask a question. Raise your hand if you have an artist name. Audio, resident, all three.
Do you update it every?
Updated.
This big game over there. Do we have more questions?
You said a couple things. So an artist whose work has a body of work that they've established, but what if that artist feels like a sort of plateauing happening and they want to go in another direction that they've been passionate about, and has kind of, what I'm hearing is that artists are getting work that is in the same realm of their discipline versus becoming a dental hygienist and a fire dancer, which is also very lucrative. However, how do you show that that's like where I want to go, or do you just come in with that body of work saying that's what I am, but that's not what I want to do now.
So one of the questions is what you're hoping to gain, but then from the program and where you see yourself in 5 years. So there's a lot of room to say like, this is what I've been working on and this is what I'm hoping to do. And I would encourage you to be really honest about, sometimes what I'm hoping to do is 3 question marks lined up, and that's okay too. Saying that you're looking to explore is actually really helpful because it gives the panelists an understanding of the fact that you're coming to learn, right? I don't think that we always know what the next step is, but the fact that you're asking questions about the next step is equates to an open mind and likely means that you will have more success in the program than someone who's like, I already know exactly what I'm doing, I know what's next, I've got this. You're not likely to take as much away, you're not likely to be as open to all the folks in the room that are bringing their whole life's worth of experience. I'll go back to something Tammy said around the way that the program is built. So we don't have educators, facilitators are not teachers. We call our facilitators artist peer facilitators because they're all doing it too. I have in so many cases facilitated in programs where I'm working with people that I'm like kind of geeking out about them. I'm like, oh my God, like I would love for them to mentor me. But I'm there to hold space and work through a certain curriculum and framework. I'm not there to tell you like what to do with your life, right? It's more about presenting the questions so that you can dig deeper into what you're already doing.
Like holding a mirror.
I love this question because this is exactly where I'm at right now as a performance artist myself. I'm in my 40s now, and I used to perform at weddings. People who are getting married are in their 20s. They don't necessarily want to see somebody the same age as their mother dancing in their wedding. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But for the most part, when I got to Artist Week, I was very well aware that like I don't want to plateau. I need to really expand on where I'm at right now. So what does that look like? And I had a little idea of what I wanted to do, but I wasn't confident. I hadn't yet validated all of the experiences that I had. I hadn't validated all of the things that I had to offer. When I left Artist Week, I was very clear on who I am as a person, who I am as an artist, and the variety of things that I have to offer, whether it's in an art direction or in a direction to build myself as an entrepreneur. I transitioned, I pivoted away from what I saw wasn't going to be a long-term opportunity anymore to where do I fit in now? And because I had that confidence, in the past couple of years, I've prepared myself to make that change. Or as somebody would say, to grow rather than change. Because change sounds really scary, but everybody's ready to grow into something.
Yeah.
To add to that, this program helps you be ready when you're ready. If that makes any sense. When you're ready for that step, whatever that step is, that requires these things, you're ready versus going backwards, trying to get the things, to catch up to yourself. So wherever you're at in your art practice, you still have a job, you're trying to get into this thing, it's great. I'm not saying quit your job. That's why you can be a full-time artist, Or you've already made that step to be a full-time artist, but you just need this information. Or like you're just kind of making sure your art is good, just building up my skills, but I still need this information to, sustain it. Having this information now, will keep you ready. You will be ready once you're ready to go and hit that road of independent artistry. You have those information, you have those tools. But you also don't have to wing it. You don't have to guess. You are confident in the things that you have, and you know what it needs to be successful.
And we've had people of all ages in the program, so there is no, other than the minimum that we have set. But I mean, we've had people really late in life that just decided they wanted to start an artist career. So it's really open to anyone that's at a place where they're looking for, the framework, the networking, the tools. The tools, I have to say, it's a crash course. So the tools, you're not going to maybe get through every single page of the workbook, but then you take that with you. So you can open it up, and as Zaria was saying, I'm still checking some of these boxes. You can open it up a year later and say, what? I wrote this down, and I really thought I wanted to do these 3 things that fell by the wayside. So today was much more of a presentation. The actual sessions are more interactive.
It's for artists, by artists, so put that in context. I mean, we have big ones, that's the thing.
And I feel like every professional artist can agree with the fact that collaboration and community is key to getting to your goals. Like, you might get there, but it's gonna take you longer than if you do it with support. We all, like, professional artists, like, we have people we rely on, whenever you don't know something that they do, they will share, and then you will share back. So it's a give and take.
Is there any other last questions?
So when you consider your unique body of art, whether it's dancing or community events, galleries, like what's inspiring you, like lighting you up right now?
Man, I know we've been really redundant on this, but it's the collaborations that you have with all the people in your group. Like, as soon as Artist Week we had our graduation in a couple of weeks, we were at Lucy's exhibition. Chris and I collaborated last year on our road show. He came and taught it at the festival that I host, and my audience was introduced to his audience, so we went and saw his show. I'm wearing jewelry right now from somebody that was in my Artist Week group. Every time that I see somebody else be shining, I feel inspired by them, and now I'm motivated. Like, that's right, I'm part of a group that really achieves great things. And I'm a part of that group, so I can also achieve great things. So every time I see them with a new flyer, I see them having a new exhibit or their own gallery, or they're doing an event, and I want to brag about something too next time I see them.
I actually want to share one of the people that was in my small group was moving into his own nonprofit. He was a dancer, and I do visual art, sculpture, and painting. And we've become really close friends. We pursue projects together. We pursue contacts together. When we're gestating our own projects, we often meet for coffee, but this has been going on for several years now. So, I never dreamt that I was going to be hanging out with a dancer all the time. He runs his own dance company. But I think we face some of the same challenges. We both work in the same community a lot, and so that cross cultivation has helped both of our practices. Is that about time?
I want to say one more thing, that you're going to get really comfortable talking about your work and taking the attention away from talking about yourself. I think that's a big challenge that everybody has as an artist, to talk about the work that you do with still feeling like you're being humble. Artist Inc. is going to give you that voice.
And if you have questions, reach out to the Fresh Arts. They will answer them.
Thank y'all so much for joining us this evening.